Hello, Mike here at Wilton Auto Tire Center. Today I am going to talk to you guys a little bit about extended life oil changes and oil change intervals. And general public is confused, right? I go to my dealership and they tell me wait for the light to go on that says I need an oil change, or they say once a year, or they say every 10,000 miles, something like that. And you'll come to our shop and we're going to tell you every 6,000 miles. Why the difference? For me, it's cheap insurance. Today's engines and oils are so more sophisticated than they ever were. Almost all cars are getting turbochargers now because they're making smaller engines that need more horsepower, so they put a turbo on it. What does the turbo do besides make horsepower? It generates a tremendous amount of heat, and that bakes oil. So if you're not using a good quality oil, number one, that's paramount. You need a good brand name oil that's going to stand up against the heat of the turbo. Secondly, the turbo will degrade the oil, even the best oil. It's going to degrade a little bit. It's going to lose its lubrication properties, right? And the additives that are put in there to protect your engine, okay? And as that happens, it starts to build sludge. The tiny passages we spoke about earlier start to get plugged up, and the oil can't get to those. Listen, we are seeing I'm not going to say a tremendous amount, but a lot of failures of engines with low miles, and the root cause of it, in my opinion, is people either didn't change their oil enough or they used a poor quality oil. Just recently, we had a Volkswagen Touareg that came in and it was a no start, and it turned out that the timing chain jumped because the timing chain tensioner failed because it didn't have enough oil pressure to keep that chain tight. A few weeks ago, we had a car came in with just a routine misfire. Typically, that's going to be a spark plug or a coil. It wasn't. It turned out we did a compression test because we swapped coils and plugs, and the misfire didn't go away. It stayed on cylinder number one. And guess what? It was 30 pounds of compression. That's a piston ring problem. Piston ring problem stems from oil, low oil, poor oil, lack of oil changes. It wears it out. How do we know it was an oil ring problem? We put oil in the cylinder. We got about 65 or 70 pounds. We're not taking it apart. You just don't do engine work like we did 20, 30 years ago. So you need to replace the engine either with a new one or use a good used one, okay? The Volkswagen we talked about, we ended up putting a good used engine in it. And when we were transferring parts and taking it apart and we pulled the valve cover off, you can see the sludge and the varnish build up in there. And that's no good. These engines just can't tolerate that. Basically, there's another reason for changing your oil every 6,000 miles. Again, from our standpoint here at Wilton Auto Tire Center, I want to see your car at least twice a year, right? I want to look underneath. I want to see if you have any oil leaks. How are your brakes? How are your tires, right? We need to rotate the tires every 6,000 miles as well to maximize their life. See if they're wearing funny. Maybe you need alignment. A lot of these cars have panels underneath them, so you can have an oil or a transmission leaking, and you'll never know it because it never hits the ground. We pull those panels down or we peek above them and we see these massive oil leaks, and we'll take a picture, we'll send it to you or bring you out into the shop and show you. But that stuff needs to be addressed. Again, there's a lot of people want to believe that I only have to do it once a year because that makes it easy and the manufacturer said it's okay. That's up to you. I try to make a believer out of people, what we see, what our experience is. We want to help you get 200 or 250,000 miles out of that car, and you're not going to do it by changing the oil every 10 or 15,000 miles. Again, any questions or comments, we'd love to hear from you, and we'd love to give you more information. Mike here at Wilton Auto Tire Center, and I thank you.